Hi, my name's Wilx, and this is episode 16 of Project Ozone 2 Reloaded. Today we're going to see the Agricraft farming station upgrade seeds all on its own automatically. Also, we're going to make some glowstone weapons and some osmium armor. So let's get started right away. So the first thing we're going to do, I've got a little dark room over here. Let's hit F7. Now, it looks like mobs could spawn in here, but I'm within 24 blocks of world spawn, or you could put a bed beside a dark room, and they can't spawn in there. And I've got some niter wort here. It has to be grown in the dark, so I'll plant it. I'll take some glowstone here, not glowstone, bone meal, and we'll bone meal it up. Then we'll grab our trowel. You've seen me use that before. And we'll use that to pick up the fully mature plant. And we'll take it out here in, well, it's dark, but basically outside where there's a light level. And we'll put them down there. And then we'll take some crop sticks. And we'll cross them. And turn that on to speed them up. Okay, so because there's a light level out here, these won't be able to spawn in that spot, and the flowers can't spawn on soul sand. But I've got a block of glowstone underneath. The only thing that can spawn is niter wort. Okay, so whoops, let's turn that off before we take off. And then we'll come over here. And I'll show you all of this in a minute, but I want to do a couple other things first. Actually, seeds. We'll put our seeds in. Now, for feeding it crop sticks, it goes through them pretty fast. So I came up with a system where they're going in from here through this line that's running down there and up into there, and it's in out, and it sends the harvest up there to the diamond chest that's up there, and I got a tesseract feeding it power up to it. The reason this room is like this is I want to put in Lilyfad's fertility later, but I need to get nature essence before I can do that. Okay, so it planted the one, and notice how it planted everything. We've got cross crops, and then regular ones where it's going to plant stuff. And it's going to let them breed up like that. So we'll let this go for a sec. I'll show you what I did in there in just a minute. In the meantime, I want to give shout outs to a few YouTubers. The one that suggested niter wort, remember I complained that I didn't the one thing I couldn't grow was glowstone in Agricraft, that I had to wait till I got to magical crops. That's not true. Niter wort actually produces glowstone. I'd forgotten that. I didn't know that. I'd forgotten it. Bobbun was the one that suggested that. He is another YouTuber. Not too many people have seen his channel yet. You probably haven't heard of him. I did put a link to him and 3 other YouTubers in the description of this video. I also put what farming modules I used in the Agricraft farming station, which we'll go over in a minute. The other people I wanted to mention were TDKPyrostasis and his girlfriend Timmy. Timmy knows a lot about this game. Too bad she's not the one doing all the talking. Pyrostasis is the one doing all the talking. She's responded in the comments in mine and answered a bunch of questions that I've had. Which, it's odd that you've got a girl that knows that much about the game. Well, I shouldn't assume that girls don't. Probably a lot of other ones out there do too. It's just not something you normally picture. But the combination of the two, the humor of their back and forth, I find it really funny. Definitely worth checking him out. And he's got a much larger channel than I do, a lot more subscribers than I do. Another guy I want to mention is AgentJ MiB. He's also doing Project Ozone 2, but he's doing it in normal mode, not Titan mode. So if you're playing normal mode, he might be worth taking a look. I learned a fair bit from him in Project Ozone 1. He was ahead of me by quite a bit. Well, I shouldn't say a fair bit. I learned 2 or 3 new things from him that I didn't already know. But I quite enjoy watching him. The other person I want to mention is Stomp The Bean. He's got a very different type of channel than I do. He's going for humor. If you like to see people getting blown up by chance cubes and all the hilarity that can ensue, he might be a good choice that way. I haven't even opened a chance cube. I haven't opened an isohedron, not even the giant ones, which can have some really good stuff. But if you want to see that type of humor, you can check him out. Okay, so let's get on to what we're doing with the farming station here. Oh, I know what I didn't do. I set up all these sprinklers, and I never turned this on to speed it up. Okay. There's 25 sprinklers overhead. They do overlap, and you get more from them that way. So, what have I set up in here? Here's the control modules that I use. Now, keep in mind, I don't know what I'm doing. I could find no wikis on this anywhere. I could find no videos on it. Nothing on the Agricraft farming station. No information. So what I did was just try it in a test world, tried out different combinations of modules until I actually got it to work. My goal here was just to get it to raise the levels of the seeds. I didn't need it to mutate them. I don't mind doing that, and I think it would probably be easier to manually mutate them than it would be to have the machine do it anyways. But it's a long process if you're doing 50 different seeds to get them all up to 10, 10, 10. I'd much rather just plug them in and let this thing do it for me. So the modules I picked was the seed analyzer module. Well, it has to be able to do that so that it can figure out which seed is better. So that was the first. Plant upgrading module. Well, that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to upgrade the plants. So I guess that's some of the logic on how it figures it out. That's a wild guess on my part, by the way. I don't know what it does. Seed sorting module. Not sure if that one's necessary or not, but I put it in there because that might be how it figures out which one's better than the next. Breeding module. Well, that's what we're doing. We're breeding them, so put that in there. And seed harvesting module. In other words, in Agricraft, it has to be able to pull the seeds up, not just harvest what they produce. So those are the 5 I went with. They are listed in the description of this video. And I've got an octadic capacitor in there. Deliberately, I didn't put it on aggressive till because then it tries to go outside of the 7x7. At least that's what I assume happened. That's what happened to my test world. Notice it's all full of crop sticks after I drop them in there. I shouldn't have used a sapphire hoe. I should have used a steel hoe. I don't know why I did that one at the last second. I think to look at the EMC value instead of the durability. And oh, okay. I did put some bone meal in there, but it doesn't seem to be doing any. It's not using any of it, so I don't know if that was useful. All the stuff's coming into the output there. And it's got some seeds sitting there that are all 111s. Okay, so that covers off this part of it. Now, to build those modules, there was a little bit more to it than you might think. Like, actually, let's go back to the modules. That's probably the easiest way. R. Farming Intelligence Module. Now, if you remember, that's what we needed to make the Agricraft farming station that was causing all the pain. Because that's the one where we needed like 8 of these things, and we needed like 32 of these things, and we needed so it's 32 of those, a stack of those. Well, I had to do that like 4 times to get all these modules. And the farming station. So, I wasn't going to do all that manually. That way too much work. So I decided to automate and stick it into high gear down here. And this is my little setup. It's mostly the same, but I've now got 2 rows of them, and I've got a harvester in between. Now notice the harvester is taking one of the bar slots. So I had to put bars on the end over here. And it's feeding from the harvester into the chest, and the chest is feeding the what do you call those, capacitor shells into here. I've got 9,500 of them so far. I've got lots of this stuff. I've got fair amount of the organic capacitors. The basic capacitors, there should be more of them. I think I used a few of them. I think that should be more like 10. And I haven't used any of the double layers. So I've got 6 of those. I haven't got any octadics out of it yet. But that's what it's producing after a while. I did test one theory I had that didn't work out. I thought maybe if I left them sitting there for a couple of days, came back, they'd be better. But no, made no difference. Yeah, that's the only thing that's new there. Now, something else I want to ask about. Can bats spawn in here? Actually, I did this slightly wrong. Okay, so that's the dark ethereal glass, so I can walk through it. I got that from the building. I haven't made any yet. Can a bat spawn in a 1x1 like that? I've got F7 on it, and I don't see a spawning spot here, so it may not be able to spawn down here at all. I don't know what's going on with this area. The light level is 0. I don't know if they can spawn in a 1x1. I don't want to spawn other stuff. So it would be really nice if I could conveniently spawn some bats in an easy way. The other way to do it would be to go to the nether and get some fire bats. But without flight in the nether, trying to catch bats may be a little more difficult. And also just doing the nether in general without flight. And I've got everything else I need to make a ring of flight. Ring of flight. So the hard part would have been this thing where you need nether star. Well, I've got nether stars now, so that's not the issue. Flight control. I need the soul of a bat. I need 2 of them. And make these things, which are not too bad. A little difficult, but not too bad. I've got all the stuff to do that. So I need some bats. Let me know in the comments if you know an easy way to spawn a bat. I've never tried to spawn a bat before. I know they've got to be in light level under 3, and they've got to be under a certain distance, under 63 or something. Well, that's where I am. I'm down at Y level 1, so well under 63. But it doesn't look like anything's supposed to be able to spawn in here. Now, over here, if I have in the slime chunk, see, no slime, slime. If you look in the top left-hand corner, in the slime chunk, if I put down a block, let's pull out a block. Whoops. So if I put down a block like that, F7, it's already on, yeah. I'm not seeing anything, but slimes do spawn down here, so that might mean, who knows. They don't seem to be able to spawn on bedrock. Slimes can spawn in light, so I don't know. Let me know if you've got a good way to catch a bat. Better way than I've thought of. Well, one other thing that I did was those lights like I've got like on either side here were beginning to annoy me, especially in my work area. So I tried putting down large glowstone bricks. So I'm trying to decide whether I like them before I go out and do the whole thing. It's a lot of work to replace them all. I just wanted to make sure I liked it first. All right. While we're waiting to see how the crops progress, let's get on to the Osmium Compressor. So, as I said last episode, you can use buckets instead of Agricraft. And I wanted to show you here where I was making it with buckets. because Osmium Compressor. See, what I got stuck on was I said, okay, it needs capacitors. I got to do Agricraft to do that. But if I go over to the next recipe, it's just buckets. Everything else is the same, but it's buckets. So I didn't need to do Agricraft. Okay, but let's use this to make some new armor and weapons. Should be a big upgrade in both of them. Come out here. Put it down. Actually, we don't want you attaching. There we go. Yes, I know I could have just hit it with my wrench. So we'll put that in. And some glowstone. That will make us glowstone. Oh, that's going to be slow. Hold on a sec. Let's steal the upgrades out of this thing. So we click on the speed upgrades. Press the down arrow, get them all out. Click on the energy upgrades. Get them all out. Come over here. Upgrade. And put the energy upgrades in first. The amount of energy it'll draw if you put the speed upgrades in first is ridiculous. Give it a sec to put those all in. I think 8 is still the max. And if you're going to put speed upgrades in, you got to put the energy upgrades in. Even with the energy upgrades, which increase the efficiency of the machine and the capacity of the energy it can hold. Even with the upgrades, it's still going to eat a pile of energy once you put those speed upgrades in. Okay, so now it's going a little faster. We just need about that many of them. Okay, that'll do. Because we need 8 plus 8 is 16 plus 1 is 17, so that's fine. Now we'll put in some obsidian. That will be to make our refined obsidian for armor. But let's get started on making weapons. So I'm going to need 2 sword blades because I got 2 cleavers. Whoops. And let's start melting it. Yeah, I've got 2 cleavers. That's the one I used to kill the wither. That's the one I use for beheading. So the damage is very different on them. This one's plus 54. This one's plus 14. This is all sharpness. This is all beheading. Okay. Come on, hurry up. There we go. Ooh, I left that turned on. I gotta do it all over again. Damn it. Mistakes, mistakes, mistakes. Come on. Be quicker, but I should replace that. I've got the those things, they're not very fast at sending it back out. Should upgrade to something faster. Come on. I hate making mistakes. And what we got in there now? 7 and 7. And again. So we got our 2 large sword blades. Did you run out? It ran out. 4 ingots. Oh, okay. And get our blades out of there. And let's go upgrade some weapons. Okay, so this one I've got to repair. I didn't put any moss on it, I just kept putting sharpness on it. And then large sword blade for you. So currently it is plus 54 attack damage with a Manulan blade. It's going to upgrade to plus 68 attack damage. Good increase. This one's going from plus 14 attack damage to plus 28. It's doubling it. But the huge increase is this one. So it's going from plus 9 to plus 28. But notice it's going down from 240 to 60. So the durability is going down. Now, I don't know if once it's in my inventory for a little while, if it's going to go back up again or not. We'll have to see. Most of the time I use the beheading because, you know, zombie heads and stuff, I need them. Okay, so armor. Okay, and so this stuff wasn't particularly hard to make, and it's really easy to make the armor, and it's a really good increase. So let's whoops. I was planning on doing this so it looked really cool the way I did it. Now I messed it up. And then that. I learned that one from Purple Mentat. I'm not sure if he makes videos anymore or not. At least he hasn't been making videos for any of the packs I play. There we go. So this is armor protection 12. My old one was 9. So it's a reasonable increase on each of them. I still got to enchant it up. Okay, let's see how we're doing out here. 778, 887, 886. So they're getting there. So it's been at what, 15 minutes or something. So it's sort of like place your seed, leave it go for half an hour where you're doing something else, come back and do it with another seed and get them all up to 10-10 that way every half hour. Okay, well that pretty much covers it for what I wanted to do this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. Hope to see you next time. Go out there and have some fun. Thanks.